How are you guys doing? This is Ryan, welcome back to the channel. In this week's video I want to talk about Bitcoin Toxic Maximalism. Yes, that's a real thing. It is such a real and avid thing. It actually was a 20-minute panel discussion at the Bitcoin conference in Miami that had tens of thousands of people attending. They had a bunch of people up there that were talking about why we need Bitcoin Toxic Maximalism, and essentially it is the right to be an asshole to other people who don't agree with you. Listen to this guy's mental acrobatics as to why he justifies Bitcoin Toxic Maximalism.
So not only do I think Bitcoin toxicity is important, I think it's absolutely necessary. And if you're against Bitcoin toxicity, you're against Bitcoin. And if you're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom, period.
So if you propose any arguments to Bitcoin or any other coins that may have solutions, they will immediately call it a coin, and they will do whatever they can to censor you. And this way, in their minds, they are guaranteeing Bitcoin will be the future, that Bitcoin just can't stand on its own merit and use cases and utility. They need a bunch of assholes to make sure it's successful. Bitcoin developed a censoring type culture when during the block size debate, the small blockers would go on to our Bitcoin. And at the time, our Bitcoin was the place to talk Bitcoin. It had most of the web traffic for anyone looking for information on Bitcoin. And the head monitor of that page, his name was Theymos, eventually censored anyone who talked about Bitcoin not scaling their block size. Even when the majority of the people wanted this, everyone else got censored and it became a one way of thinking. And this is where I think the real cultish type behavior has occurred and not letting any reason for sensible conversations to take place. So instead of having intellectual conversations about the future of cryptocurrency and blockchains, the tactic they use is just to be a toxic person to each other. So in most markets, competition is a good thing because at the end of the day, we're trying to serve people. So the more companies or blockchains out there that are out there competing to be the best blockchain for me is typically a good thing for humanity. So I want to equate this, and I made a little skit to if MySpace and Facebook, if the first mover and MySpace were to be the only social network that was allowed to take place, and if you were a MySpace maximalist or a MySpace toxic maximalist, how you would treat other people and what that would look like. Check out the little skit I made for you here. Babe, ever since Roger started going against MySpace, I'm taking him out of my top 8 friends. I'm gonna pick a song that best identifies how I feel about this.
I mean, I don't think anyone that I'm friends with is even on MySpace anymore. Everyone's on Facebook.
You mean Facebook?
I don't know, ever since Blockstream, News Corp took over, the user experience on MySpace has really gone down. Facebook is where it's at.
They're coming out with an awesome X-Men movie they tell me all the time about. I love it. Babe, if you're against MySpace, it means you're against friends. And if you're against friends, it means you're against humanity. So I actually see similarities of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash when I did this skit, because Bitcoin is MySpace to me. Bitcoin is having a suffering user experience and is losing massive amounts of market share. Bitcoin Cash has a much better user experience and has a lot more active user adoption that are actually using the currency. We're actually seeing growth on on-chain transactions. Along with many other cryptos, a lot of cryptos are competing to serve you, and that's the way it should be. And we shouldn't be just mean to other people that are finding other ways to do things. We should have good conversations and try to make the best educated decision from there. We don't need toxic people to point us in the right direction. We can use intellectual people. This is a real thing, guys. I am happy to talk to any Bitcoin maximalist and have an intellectual conversation on why Bitcoin's direction is the best for the future or another project. Feel free to contact me. I'm happy to have a conversation and to learn something from another person, and hopefully you may learn something as well. If you're enjoying this content, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It helps the video reach a broader audience, and we need more people to learn about Bitcoin Toxic Maximalism and let them make up their own decisions if this is good or bad. And I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section, do you think Bitcoin Toxic Maximalism is a good thing or a bad thing? If you think it's a bad thing, like me, give this video a thumbs up. If you think it's a good thing, you can go ahead and hit the thumbs down. That's okay. But if you want to see more crypto related content, make sure to hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you every time I upload a video. I find it really dumbfounded that I feel the need to make a video like this and just really talk about, like, should this culture be here, rather than saying, like, is Bitcoin Cash a better transaction system rather than using something like Strike and on the Lightning Network for Bitcoin for payments? Because in El Salvador right now, you're having merchants having issues with a custodian dealing with their money. They're waiting for emails to get back to make sure their accounts are all open, and it's not peer-to-peer electronic cash. You have a custodian in the middle. And this information is not getting out to people, and it's not getting out to people because Bitcoin maximalism does exist. You have people like Peter McCormack who wants to be the face of Bitcoin maximalism. If these are the type of people you think are going to lead the future, I think you might be in for a surprise. Bitcoin has had a lot of success, and I do think it's a far superior system still than the fiat system, but I definitely think it has a lot of flaws, and it's fair to talk about them. That's the only way we're going to allow this culture to get better and allow the whole process of competition and currency to take place so we can have better stored wealth and better way to transact with people in the future. If you're investing into Bitcoin BTC, really think about this. Is this something that you want to be a part of? I've even seen people like Adam Back, the CEO of Blockstream, the #1 developer on top of Bitcoin, defend Bitcoin toxicity. And I tweeted at Adam, I was like, Adam, hold your people accountable. Like, we can be better than this. We can be civil. We can have intellectual debates. I could see that there could be a need to protect people from the charlatans that do exist in cryptocurrency. Let's be honest, about 90% of these projects are probably not going anywhere, and a lot of them are probably out to do harm to people. So I think the community should get together and try to regulate that. But there is no way that every single project except for Bitcoin is gonna fail. There's just way too much talent in the space, and there's already too many projects that already have a better user experience, and Bitcoin just doesn't have the same network effect. Like Bitcoin Cash has a way better user experience than Bitcoin BTC, but it doesn't have the same network effect because it doesn't have the same brand. But when you go back into history, you see what made Bitcoin so successful is because it used to be like Bitcoin Cash. It used to have a great user experience. And the only way to trick people into not wanting a great user experience, I guess, is to use Bitcoin toxicity towards them. Could it be possible that people are intentionally throttling Bitcoin BTC with a 1 megabyte block to make it inusable so companies can sell things on top of Bitcoin's layer 1 solution to layer 2, layer 3? Could there be people profiting for it and not necessarily focusing on the end user and the true benefits of a real peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world? Not having custodians, not having people that can cancel you. Using cryptocurrencies on-chain is a very powerful thing, and especially with a network like Bitcoin BTC that has such a high hash rate, so many nodes that secure the network, it is such a powerful thing. And it doesn't have to be so expensive to use. And with Lightning Network, the problem that exists there is to open and close channels, you are gonna face those fees. And if the company that is running your node wants to cancel your transactions and for some reason censor you like Julian Assange or Edward Snowden, you'd be in very big trouble. What does the Bitcoin Toxic Maximalist have to say to that? But with that said, guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram, rgiffin89. I'll put my handle here. And also follow me on noise.cash. Noise.cash is a great use case for Bitcoin Cash. You can make Bitcoin Cash just by tweeting things out and people interacting with your post. I should say noising your things out. I post there a few times a week, and I'm on Instagram pretty much daily. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And I'll see you in my next one.